We're here, Taipei BJJ, sitting here in sunny Taipei. Last week was freezing cold, almost gonna die because it's so cold and rainy Taipei. Now it's sunny Taipei. So we're here. UFC Austin was this weekend. Mike Perry's doing some violent stuff. Got some jiu-jitsu things going on. I got a move I want to try. I don't know if we can try it on camera. That might be a little too crazy. Ushiro X. You have any idea what Ushiro X is, Tahric?
I don't know.
He has no idea.
One moment. I'm not exactly sure the moment we went live, so we might have missed that introduction, but
this is a pretty good introduction.
This is Taipei BJJ.
Tahric Marshall.
Yes, we are here. We are here. It is lots going on in the world of BJJ and in the world of fighting. I'm on your Wi-Fi, that's why. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
That's okay.
So what's up? How's things?
Things are good, man. I'm in a competition mode next week in Taipei at AZ Fight Club. I have a match against Lin Bo Yu. This is a rematch. Last time I destroyed him in a purple belt no-gi match. We had 2 matches in the same day, but we're in a different mindset. He was coaching, he was working, trying to compete under the circumstances is not the same as having one match all to yourself. So next weekend we have a match, 10 minutes, no-gi. You putting money on this match?
I'll put my money on you.
Whoa! Have you seen Bo Yu? He's big, man.
Yeah, he's strong.
He's one of these guys.
I rolled with him at Geek Base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's strong. He has good back control.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very tight. So
he's been working his wrestling.
Yeah.
But people don't know. Don't tell anybody. I was a varsity wrestler in high school. So don't expect me to go out there and take him down like I did in our last match, actually. But if he comes at me, shooting blast double legs like he does on Instagram, I catch his neck, toss him over my head, I play some rubber guard. This is the plan.
Nice.
Don't tell Bo Yu.
I won't tell him. Now, last week we had a UFC Austin. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Some great fights.
Yep.
Some also not so great moments as well. You want to talk about the Gastelum fight a little bit?
So Kelvin Gastelum, he's a great fighter. He's most famous. The peak of his career was he took Israel Adesanya to a very close decision a couple years back. This is for the interim title when Stylebender is really coming into his own. It was very closely contested. And since then, he's lost like so many fights. So Gastelum, he's always exciting to see. He's always rooting for him. He dropped a weight class, went down to 170.
I think this is the weight class he always should have been in, but I think he
couldn't make weight a lot.
He likes the tacos.
He likes the tacos.
So it's hard.
Yeah.
But he did really well at middleweight.
He did. And so it's a very tricky thing seeing a guy so good losing a lot. And so he came down. We're very excited for this one. His opponent, Sean Brady, I hadn't really heard about him a lot. I hadn't really seen him. He's got terrible tattoos. But he comes in there. They're saying he's only lost 1 fight in his career to Bilal Muhammad, which is that's a crazy resume to have.
Yeah.
And Sean Brady just absolutely destroyed Kelvin Gastelum. It's some of the best UFC grappling I've ever seen. Just they're on the feet, touch, take him down, and float. Smoke his guard on the back, on the mount, on the back, on the mount, half guard. It was incredible. It was like how jiu-jitsu should be. You're not really particular about the position as long as you're winning. We can go to half guard, we can pass, who cares? Punch in the face. Gastelum looked like he was drowning. Gastelum was very good at jiu-jitsu. He used to train at 10th Planet. He's high level, I think a black belt. And Sean Brady just demolished him. And then in the 3rd round, again, Sean Brady takes him down. He's got looks like a nice arm triangle. He's almost got it. Loses it, switches to the Kimura, takes it, and is pretty gentle with it. He takes it very slowly. Gastelum taps, avoids catastrophe. Dominant performance by Sean Brady. That's a guy to watch in the division. Definitely one of the highest level grapplers in the game.
It was really, really good finish. Really, just textbook Kimura, perfect positioning, and yeah, he didn't try to snap it. He
definitely could have.
Yeah, it was good. Another fight that we watched was the Bobby Green versus Jalin Turner. Originally, Bobby Green was preparing for Dan Hooker, but Dan Hooker
What a great fight that would be.
would have been great because they're both great strikers.
Yeah.
But Dan Hooker pulled out due to an injury. So last minute, young Jalin Turner steps in.
Yeah.
And
tall and long, Jalin Turner.
Tall and long, yeah. And also another excellent striker. Bobby Green has one of those styles where I'm not a fan of this style. I'm a big fan of Bobby Green. I love to hear him speak.
Yeah.
I'm always in his corner when he's fighting because he's just a likable guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a fan of the hands down style.
Hands down, swinging for counters.
I've seen it be so catastrophic on so many occasions. Yeah. My hero, Anderson Silva, who was the best at it ever, to me, no question, but eventually it caught up to him as well. Yeah. Although he wasn't just hands down, he does the head forward taunting as well. But Bobby Green versus Jalin Turner, he gets caught, I think it's with a left hook. And after he gets caught with a left hook, Green just drops. He's out.
Yeah.
But
turns face down.
Yeah, he's out, sprawled face down.
Yeah.
But the ref does not stop it. I'm not going to call the ref out again and again. I think he's probably getting enough hate mail.
Yes.
Enough hate mail as it is.
Justified.
But then Turner, according to the rules, the fight is not over. Turner then comes and starts feeding more punches to a face down Bobby Green, who's not very responsive.
No.
The announcers on the side are saying, "Come on, ref, stop it!"
Screaming.
And he takes quite a few more punches, like almost like hitting a dead body before the ref finally says, "Okay,
at least 10,
okay, that's enough."
10 unnecessary punches.
Yeah.
And these are not little punches; these are bombs.
Yes.
Jalin Turner's on top of him on his back, whining all the way back, as he should. Like he did his job. The ref did not do his job. It was terrible.
Yeah, and at the end, Turner, he even said he didn't enjoy that. He thought, what the hell? Why isn't this being stopped?
Yeah.
And they're both from the same town. He didn't. Yeah. Green is one of his heroes, so he didn't like the idea that he had to take Green out in that manner. But
nobody liked it.
Still, congratulations to Turner, being able to go against a legend like that on his way up, which, congratulations to Turner. So, but yeah, it was a rough ending. I didn't like to see that.
Yeah, nobody liked it.
Did you watch the what is this? What's his name? Mica Galvao. The Mica Galvao versus
Cody Steele.
Cody Steele.
One of the
match.
most exciting jiu-jitsu matches ever.
If jiu-jitsu looked,
awesome.
If grappling matches were like these guys, I think it would become a maybe not super popular sport, but it would be a much more popular sport than it is now.
Yeah, that's kind of grappling everybody can kind of get behind. They're just launching themselves at each other. They're doing wrestling. They're doing flying stuff. And it was incredible.
Yeah.
Hats off to both those guys.
Yeah,
we called it on this show. We knew it was going to be awesome. And I'm pretty excited, man. And for Chinese New Year, I'm going to go back to California. And that's Mica Galvao's next match is going to be in my hometown at that time.
Yeah.
I feel very blessed by the universe for this coincidence. And he's going to face Nicky Ryan. And so we're going to see if Nicky Ryan can slow him down. Who knows, man? Mica Galvao, he's the most exciting guy in jiu-jitsu right now. Just flying around, taking risks, and they keep pulling off, man. He keeps winning.
Yeah, he's a
really high-level guys.
Very big risk taker.
Yeah.
He flies around. He does this he likes the arm in guillotine a lot. He goes for it a lot. He locks it in a lot, and he uses it to launch a suplex. So he's
fantastic.
he did a suplex. He also got kicked. Basically, Cody Steele, in his takedowns, his trips, it's basically their kicks, like calf calf kick takedowns.
Yeah.
So it was very hardcore, a lot of excitement. I'm sure both guys are a bit bumped up after that match. Cody Steele, always a showman. In between some of the exchanges, he would just flex to Mica Galvao. It was really good. One of the most entertaining matches I've actually watched. So hats off to both of those guys. Cody Steele didn't win, but I'm hearing the name more and more. So even by not winning, just being exciting, I think it'll help him a lot.
Definitely.
Just stay healthy, stay strong.
Yeah. And he has a real promising MMA career. He has a couple real quick knockouts. He's got a lot of power in his punches. So, yeah, he might not win ADCC. He might not be a super dominant jiu-jitsu champion, but he's always there and always exciting, which is kind of more important to me at this point.
It is more important, which is back to Bobby. The name is slipping my mind.
King Bobby Green.
Bobby Green, King Bobby Green. He's always about excitement. So
Yeah.
he's one that always speaks on fighters not being exciting enough, which is true. I found this with, even though GSP was very loved towards the end of his career, he wasn't as, to me he was the greatest, one of the greatest, but not the most exciting.
Yeah,
He
a
was-
lot of
he has-
five-round decisions.
A lot of 5-round decisions. He was a very conservative guy, and it's a conundrum because if you want to be successful, you have to win. But for the entire sport to be successful, it has to be entertaining.
Yeah, and so this is a big complaint about the Who's Number One event. The main event was Pedro Moreno and Lovato Jr. Lovato Jr. is always there to put on a show and be very exciting, and Pedro Moreno is not. So they did a lot of hand fighting, a lot of small advantages, and Pedro Moreno gets the unanimous decision. And there's no highlights of that match. There's nothing you could club onto. There's nothing really to learn other than, IBJJF domination. You win, kinda, and then celebrate like you destroyed a man. Cool.
Before we move on, we had a few questions. Oh, my internet is not moving. We had a few questions. Do you have them handy on your phone?
Yeah.
So here we go. So this one, we got this one from Dimitri. Mica Galvao versus Tainan Dalpra. No gi or gi, who wins?
Yeah, what do you think, man? You know who Tainan Dalpra is?
I don't know very much about Tainan Dalpra, but just because of Mica Galvao's youth and his domination that I've seen so far, I'm going to have to go with Mica. I don't know much about Tainan. I'll have to look up more to have a better answer for you.
In my mind, Tainan's much bigger. I don't know if that's true, but he was also on the card and he hit a very nice takedown. So, Tainan Dalpra, he's AOJ. He's got Guy Mendez in his corner, who's proven to be one of the best tacticians in the game. So it's a very good match as to who wins, who's to say. I'm on team Mica Galvao at the moment. I just think the dude's awesome. So I hope he keeps winning so he can keep putting on great performances. I don't know.
I agree with that. Oh, speaking of Mica Galvao, remember we talked about the whole IBJJF dropping steroid testing last week? I found the article. I'll look at that later, but let's continue with the questions. And this question is from Taipei Boxing.
It's Richard.
That's Richard. What's y'all's opinion? What is the best thing to work on outside of class? Speed, strength, endurance, yoga, etc. What do you think?
Short answer is strength, but strength comes in many forms. And if I can, defer to John Danaher when he's spoken on a topic, and what he says is there's not one best way. If there was, he would just say everybody should do that, but there's not. So it seems kind of to be personality based and like lifestyle based. So, for example, we're a good example of this. Tahric, he really loves like gyms with like machines and bad music and crazy air conditioning and stuff that I don't dig. I don't like the machines. I don't like the environments that they tend to be in. I tend to like being here at home. I got kettlebells and a yoga mat. That's more my style. I like to go to yoga classes with smoking hot buff ladies. That's kind of what I'm drawn to. And
I like to be around dudes.
he likes the bros. And so there's lots of ways to build strength, and it really does seem to be like, what are you into? All the 10th Planet guys, they really love functional patterns. Functional patterns is
Functional.
it's a system made by this guy who's really hard to listen to. He's quite a not nice man, but it's all built around striking a lunge and twisting. So every functional thing, we shoot a double leg in wrestling. When you throw a baseball, you swing a bat, swing a club, throw a cross, it's always a twist. So this is one thing they would say against like the most gym machines are straight, bench pressing, squatting, straight on, saying things with a twist. So I've incorporated that into my yoga game. When I do go to gyms, I try to find something with like something you can, turn, can throw something, can go both ways. So there's a lot of ideas. Knees over toes guys got a lot of good stuff for building knee strength and knee support, which in jiu-jitsu, almost every black belt I know has knees that have gone out. So I've really been incorporating a lot of that. Just walk backwards and do some raises, simple stuff. So short answer is strength, and how you get about it is kind of up to you, and there's lots of good options.
Yeah, I agree. To me, strength is like essential for life. Flexibility as well, which is something I neglect a lot. I think flexibility is also very important. The knees over toes stuff, it's interesting, a little bit controversial. I watch sometimes Faraz Sahabi, who's considered one of the best coaches ever, and
Absolutely.
he is not into knees over toes.
Oh, really?
He believes that you're putting, especially for fighters.
Okay.
So he believes that since you're already in fighting, in the actual practice of fighting and sparring, you're putting your body into these awkward positions already, that when you're lifting weights and weight training, everything should be controlled, and you should not be training for these out of line positions, because your practice is going to be doing enough of that.
Okay.
When you mentioned the differences between people, speaking of John Danaher, his style that he teaches his students seems to be a very control-based style, position over submission. But in an interview, he also said he thinks that a guy like Gary Tonin, who kind of spams submissions at people, from him trying to bring Gary Tonin into his way of coaching, he says that's one of his biggest regrets, is trying to get Gary Tonin to compete the way that he teaches, where he thinks that Gary Tonin already had an excellent formula that worked for him.
Yeah.
So everybody's different. Speed is important too. I'm not really sure how to train for speed. It's not something that I'm an expert in. For me, strength is what I've always found, is that when I'm strong, the injuries come less, and strength has always been helpful. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more note, talked to Coach Dimitri Telfair of the Bears Den. He's all about sprints, Tabata sprints. He says this is the way to not get gassed in competition, which I believe, because I get gassed every competition and I don't do sprints. So I think he's onto something.
Yeah.
I think it sounds right.
Yeah. I've never. I can only think of one time. Actually, no. I can think of maybe 2 times in competitions as a blue belt where I've really gassed.
Sucks.
Yeah, it does. You just feel that's when the panic sets in, when you're gassed. Like what's gonna happen? This guy
shame, the
the
embarrassment.
shame. This guy could do whatever he wants to me, and I can't live up to my potential.
Yeah.
And everybody's watching.
Everyone's watching.
The last match that I didn't gas, which was surprising, because I didn't think that I was prepared enough for it. But
Yeah, he came in with the flu, right?
yeah, but I did not. I did not gas. I didn't gas. So that was very. It felt good.
I'm so proud.
Felt good. Let's see. And the next question from Richard is, that question was 2 parts. What's the best for competitions and the best for enjoyment of the art? For enjoyment of the art, I would say probably for competition, sprinting probably, if gassing is a problem for you. For at least for jiu-jitsu competitions, I found that just doing lots of back-to-back rounds has always been my best preparation. Also wrestling, because wrestling is the most tiring part of jiu-jitsu. So if I'm prepared with wrestling before going into competition, then I'm generally not going to gas, and also pulling guard. that could save your gas tank if that's
Pulling
what you're
guard's
into.
good.
Yeah, if that's what you're into. I enjoy the weights. If you're talking about enjoyment, that's so he says, what for the enjoyment of the art? Enjoyment of the art, it depends on what you enjoy about the art.
Yeah, I think enjoyment of the art is just staying in it. So whatever keeps you in and keeps you able to keep growing. I think growth in jiu-jitsu is what is the most enjoyable. So if your body's not doing well, if things are really painful, if you don't have the dexterity to do some, basic moves, like we're not talking Hindu latines, but like some people see X guard and they're like, I don't know about that one. Yeah, man, work on that so you can do some moves that are pretty common. 80% of people can do these, but you can't. Then you got to work on that, and there's lots of ways to do that. Functional patterns, yoga, whatever. There's lots of ways to do, but enjoyment of the art is in growth. So if something's inhibiting your growth, work on that, and then so many more options.
Yes, as in life, if you are not healthy, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy jiu-jitsu if you're injured.
Yeah. If you're smoking on the way to class. I've known some of these guys.
Yeah, some guys do it. And some guys there's some
cigarettes.
smokers that, because Taiwan there's a lot of smokers here. Cigarettes are really cheap here, so it's a great place. It's a great place if you want to smoke.
Yeah.
In Canada, cigarettes are really expensive, so yeah, as a smoker, you should probably live in a. If you're smoking a pack a day or more than a pack a day, maybe you might want to consider moving.
Yeah, move to Taiwan and then stop smoking. Because that's definitely something that can inhibit your growth in jiu-jitsu. If you can't breathe, then work on that.
Yeah, smoking is a hard one for people though. So if you are smoking, but you can exercise, or you do exercise, that's at least better than smoking and not exercising.
It's a step in the right direction.
It is a step in the right direction.
It's not the final destination.
It's not the final destination.
Let's get better than that too.
But yeah, if you can exercise, then most people don't exercise. You probably have. I'm gonna say something ridiculous, but maybe more people here smoke than regularly exercise.
Okay.
The gym, when I go to the gym, it's often not full of people. So yeah, enjoyment of the art, that's a hard one. For my enjoyment of the art, I like to feel strong, and I like to just be warmed up before starting any hard rounds.
Yeah.
That gives me the most enjoyment. Also, the mentality of going into the rounds is, whether I win or lose, I'm doing this for fun, or I'm doing this to learn, or I'm doing this to try this thing. So I go in and I'm going to try this thing, whether it works or not.
Yeah. And one of the least enjoyable things is in a match or in a role, worrying about something. You're worried your knee's gonna hurt, you're worried your neck's gonna hurt, you're worried your back's gonna hurt. So getting your body in a position to where you feel fairly confident you're not gonna be in a lot of pain after is huge.
One of the enjoyable things that I haven't been doing as much lately, just because my schedule has been a little bit busier, is is rolling with guys that are at a much lower level than me, which gives me a chance to try things out to see if they work.
Yeah.
Like things that are not going to work on high level guys, especially something that I haven't really practiced or I don't know it very well, and they could see it coming.
Yeah.
Or
Strangle blue belts.
or I'm not doing it well enough that it would work on a higher level. So, yeah, one thing about enjoyment is if you're in a big gym where you could roll with lower level guys, being able to try things out on lower level guys, that is something I enjoy. And I think it's very helpful for growth.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Wait a minute. There was one more.
There was one more.
Did you send it to me? Where'd you send
yeah.
it? You sent it to Instagram?
It was online.
Let me see here. Yeah, we have a few questions today. It's a lucky day. So here we go. Preach Egg says, "Can you please call the show Black Friday?" Then you answered, "LOL. I don't think I could call it that. If we get a black guy to sub in for me, maybe." And then she says, "Backpack Director is your Black Friday." So Marshall didn't get this reference, and I don't know if this is Bree's reference. For the old heads out there like me, Robinson Crusoe. This is a non-jiu-jitsu related topic. There's a story called Robinson Crusoe. So there's two Black Fridays. Black Friday is the big sale. They call it Black Friday because in accounting terms, if you are in the black, the company is not in debt. Being in the black is
making
good.
Profits.
Yes, we're making profits. We could sell some extra things. That's Black Friday. That's one Black Friday.
That's what I thought she was talking about.
That's for the Black Friday. But when she says Backpack Director is your Black Friday, I believe, she could correct me if I'm wrong, that the Black Friday is, there's a story, Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe gets shipwrecked. He's an Englishman. He gets shipwrecked, possibly somewhere in the Pacific Islands. He gets shipwrecked. He's there for many years. It's something like 20 years. One day, some savages come. Savages come to the island.
We call them locals. No?
They're in the story, they're savages. Some savages come to the island. They're cannibal savages.
Oh, okay.
So these cannibal savages come to the island, and they kill and start eating one person.
Oof.
And one of the people run away from these savages. Robinson later catches this savage and makes him his slave. He found him on a Friday, so he calls him his Friday. And Robinson Crusoe is a kind slave master, so kind that Friday ends up just loving Crusoe as a master and wants to help him and serve him forever, as all slaves do. Then, he even wants to bring him back to his island, which doesn't happen. Later on, some pirates come. Crusoe helps to rescue the captain from this pirate ship. The pirates are all condemned. They must now stay on this island. Crusoe is going to go back to England. Asks Friday if he wants to come along. Friday says, "No, I'll stay and be these guys' slaves." That's now in older movies and TV shows, because I'm old, there are some times where you would have guys that would refer to their secretaries as their girl Friday. But I don't know if this is Bree's meaning, but this is what I get because this is one of my favorite stories as a boy was Robinson Crusoe. So there you go.
You can see why.
Some history.
I don't have many words on this topic other than it's better. Let's not call it that.
Speaking of Black Friday and black people, maybe we should just talk about black issues on this show.
Sure, that's my specialty. I have lots of thoughts on the matter. I'm here to educate.
Speaking of that, let's talk about Mike Perry.
Okay. The famous not black man.
Famous not black man, but he does have a video out there where he's dropping N-bombs
Really?
after a fight. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
So Mike Perry, so a friend sent this to me. So I have a friend that, anyways, I have friends.
Lots of friends.
Lots of
Very
friends.
popular,
But
this guy.
so Mike Perry, he's in a video, I guess that's after some bar fight, and he's like, yo, what's up, nigga? What's up? What's up, nigga? What's up? What's up? What's up, nigga? And my friend sent this to me, like, what is this? Like, why is, and I said to him, I was like, yeah, I don't excuse these N-bombs that Mike Perry is dropping, but please go watch videos of Mike Perry's interviews. And you could tell that Mike Perry, he grew up around black people, or he spent a lot of time around black people. So that was that. We're talking about Mike Perry, who is now BKFC, Bare Knuckle FC's champion, or what they call their champion, the King of Violence.
The most successful bare knuckle fighter ever. Nah, maybe not ever. In modern era.
Yeah.
Because this is, I guess, an older sport.
Yes.
It's not quite bare, right? Like they're wrapped, right?
They
Is that
wrap.
what it is?
I think they wrap their knuckles
Yeah.
all the way up to here. So I think their
So
knuckles are
wrapped
there.
knuckles.
They wrap their wrist, which is what's going to get injured
Yeah.
mostly.
Which
and
I
your
always thought
fingers.
the point of bare knuckle was that you have exposed knuckles, so you can't punch as hard. You got to be more creative, but they don't do that. They wrap it so that it's just more violent, more bloody.
They still will get broken hands a lot, but without the gloves, you get cut a lot. They get cut up a lot. I remember Joe Rogan used to say that he thinks that the UFC should switch to bare knuckles because it's a more realistic way of fighting, and maybe guys won't throw as hard, but in actual practice, I think he might have he said later, I kind of changed my mind on this.
After seeing the blood.
Just because of how bloody it is.
It's crazy.
Like Mike Perry,
hard to watch.
he looks like his nose has been broken 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But he's like a fish to water. He's been amazing so far in this bare knuckle.
Making lots of money.
Yeah, making lots of money. Smart with his money. Legendary moment with Mike Perry. Do you remember that in the UFC when he came in without a cornerman?
Yeah, because the typically what you do is you have a couple coaches in your corner and you share some percent of the profits from the fight with them. And Mike Perry, I guess in a financial move, had his girlfriend come in, and he was very clear. He's like, I don't want any advice. You rub ice on me. That's your job. And kind of a good move. Like, really, like, if there's no... I think it's better to have a coach in your corner, someone who can help you walk through the tough times. But if that person's not in your life, then having your girl just kind of rub ice on you as you breathe, it worked for him.
Saves him money.
Saves
And it's
him a
always
lot of
it's
money.
always a great story when you win. If he had lost with no
Yeah.
cornerman, everybody would have been like, "This is the worst decision
Yeah.
ever." But he won handily, and it was awesome because this was during 2020, and they were in the Apex Center where everything's kind of quiet and you hear everything. So she's rubbing ice on his back. And she's like, "What do you want me to do?" Yeah, just rub it right there, baby. Yeah, you're doing. And he's coaching her. He's like, "Yeah, you're doing good, baby. You look good, baby." It was amazing. It was amazing.
The worst would have been if they start arguing. You know, that's what would be the worst. There's a very
doing it wrong.
viral video of this jiu-jitsu match. A guy's mid-competition and his girl's yelling. And he goes, "Shut up, Natalie!" A very funny video, but that's kind of worst case scenario.
Yeah, that is worst.
She's trying to help,
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's
sure.
just upsetting him.
I'm sure he had to apologize a lot after. Because, she was just trying to help, and it was completely...
Shut up! That's the worst.
The rage of losing and, your girl trying to help you. So, I know what that is. So Mike Perry. He also beat... There's something else I wanted to say about Mike Perry. Oh, there was a list. So a friend passed me a list of... It wasn't a list. It was a survey question asking if you had... I think it was 3 fighters that you could bring with you in a bar fight. And Mike Perry came up on this list quite a lot. So the top two guys that I saw were obviously Francis Ngannou, John Jones, but then Mike Perry. So Mike Perry,
crazy, man. He's ready to fight.
Yeah, not a big guy, but he's just now known, and he's never been a champion, but he's just known as being a dog and being ready to fight, and also because of up until that point, this was before he became the king of violence, but he had already had some success in bare knuckles. So just knowing that somebody is just down to fight, and you have clips of him outside getting into fights or being ready to fight in bars.
Dropping N-bombs.
He's real. Yeah, he's
that guy's ready to fight.
He's the real deal.
Who would you pick? You're in a bar fight. Who you want? Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Betch Correia.
Those are not bad. if I want a girl to get beat up, and I don't want to beat her myself, Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Holly Holm, yeah, because you can't really grapple so much in public. So you want some
head kicker.
Yeah, you want some head kicking.
Someone who can head kick and heels.
You want somebody that could knock somebody out. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Amanda Nunes. If I want some girls to get knocked out, I'm taking Amanda Nunes for sure.
Is this relatable?
It's not relatable.
You have a time in your mind?
I have a time in my yes, I have a time in my mind. But if I could travel back and make friends, yeah, those are. But if it's a bar fight with all dudes, Francis for sure. Maybe take 3 Francises.
Okay, is that enough? If I'm in a bar fight, I'm calling Uber. I'm getting out of here. I'm avoiding the situation.
There's no Uber in this situation.
Call the police.
No, the phone only links directly to fighters.
Okay, Sean Strickland, and Mike Perry.
Nice. Legitimate. Speaking of Mike Perry again, one guy that he also beat, but is also a legend, and this is kind of a rumor now. I'm not sure if this is official yet, but Michael Venom Page is supposedly coming to the UFC and fighting Kevin Holland.
Oh, so great.
Now, speaking on Michael Venom Page, the best highlight I've seen ever of all fighting, and this highlight, if you look it up, will make you either love or hate MMA. But Michael Page, he's fighting a fighter called Cyborg. And
not the lady Cyborg, but her husband, also named Cyborg.
Cyborg reaches in for a takedown. Now, Michael Venom Page is an excellent striker. He perfectly times a jumping knee, and he caves in the forehead. So
literally,
he gets the knee, and you can see Cyborg. He grabs his head and he goes down, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that looked pretty bad." But then when they actually look at it, you can see on camera that his forehead is caved in.
Yeah.
The X-rays shows his forehead is caved in.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Fractured a skull.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what everyone thought would happen all the time in MMA, but it's happened one time.
Yeah, it never happens. It never happens. It was just a perfectly timed, perfect power, perfect everything, and he just caved in the head of possibly one of the hardest heads out there.
Yeah, super tough guy.
Yeah.
And so Michael Venom Page, he's world-class in karate. That's his background. And he's been really successful in MMA and Bellator. And so I don't think this fight's official yet. I think it's still a rumor based on a podcast Dana White was on. They had some backstage footage of the UFC offices. And the UFC offices, they have all the fight cards on the wall. And it says K. Holland, who is Kevin Holland, versus M. Page, who I guess could be someone else, but probably Michael Venom Page, but with a red dot next to their name. And so people aren't too hip on what that means, but since it's not announced and supposed to be January 20th, maybe it's a huge announcement they're waiting for. Maybe there's some negotiation still going on, but it's a fight that we all want to see. Kevin Holland's always entertaining, super legit guy who seems to not care much about winning. He's always being goofy.
Yeah.
He's a super high-level jiu-jitsu guy who did not try to take down Wonder Boy. He tried to stand with Wonder Boy. who's another one of the highest level karate guys ever.
Yeah, he kind of fights with his
And
hands down too. He's
talking.
just a wild guy.
Just a wild guy.
He's wild.
Hard to tell what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
What his goal is.
I think he's just wild and he likes to be entertaining. I would like him to win a little bit more.
Yeah, a little game plan would be cool. But so that's why he's like a kind of a perfect matchup for Michael Venom Page to welcome to the UFC. So Michael Venom Page is a specialist, striking specialist, and we're in an age now where specialists don't tend to get too successful. You know,
they're kind of rare.
if you take him down, maybe he can't get up. Maybe. So he would be coming to what division would that be? Welterweight.
I think so.
So you know,
Holland's a welterweight.
toss him to Colby Covington, might be just take him down and pound him, make him look bad.
Yeah.
But Kevin Holland, he's shown that he is okay not doing that, even though he definitely could. He has the skills. So I hope this fight's real. I hope it happens. But right now, I think it's still rumor.
I think we could leave the gift ideas until next week. But I did want to talk about this other topic. Did you see there was a post, the Reddit post about a guy that got bit?
Yeah, I saw it. So a smother choke is when you're on someone's back and you put your hand over their mouth and nose. It's long been known as a dirty move. Wrestlers do it all the time. Typically, it's like just someone's breathing hard and you do that, and then it kind of disrupts their breathing and you go about it.
Yeah,
it's a dirty move.
It
so you
almost
keep
never.
It
almost never ends a fight.
Yeah.
Because you can, as long as you have a hand free, and you're most likely going to have a hand free because he's already occupied one hand by putting it on your mouth. It's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
And it's generally legal.
Yeah. In this example, it's from a ADCC event, I believe in England. And the guy puts it over his mouth, and the guy on the bottom bites it super hard to the point where it leaves marks. It left a bruise. I don't know what the decision was.
They didn't
get disqualified.
You saw the ref. The ref kind of like looks at the hand, and then the video ends there. And then you have people just making jokes in the comments.
Yeah.
So, but the topic of discussion is whether it's a dirty move.
Smothering or biting?
Smothering.
Okay.
I don't think it's dirty. I mean, it's
rude. It's definitely rude.
It's rude. It's dirty, but it's. What about wrist locks? What do you think?
It's like a troll move. Like it's kind of clowning on a guy, but legal. Like it's definitely allowed. Smothering, I'd say it's allowed too, but I think if you're smothering a guy, you're in such a dominant position already that you could switch to a more reasonable fight-ending position, right? So if you're on the guy's back and you're doing this, he should react in a way that you can go for the choke. And so that's kind of aiming higher.
That's what it is for. I don't know anybody that's ever submitted to having their nose pinched and smothered. I don't think
you should like panic and then
I don't think
have space to slip in a choke.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that any experienced grappler is going to tap to this.
Yeah, the higher level version is what you see a lot of the new wave guys, a lot of Jen Danaher students doing. From full mount, instead of using their hand to do this, they're using their stomach or their chest area. And that's the same idea. You get their face stuck in here, and
yes.
And people are tapping to that, and that one's much more reasonable because you're in such a dominant position.
Yes.
And there's nothing they can do.
I've used that position successfully a few times.
Yeah.
I learned it from Coach Dimitri at the Bears Den, and then since then it's something that I always at least. I'll try it in mount. The mother's milk. I love that.
So that's a higher level version of the same thing, and I think someone could bite in someone's stomach from there.
You probably could. Yeah, you probably could. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think there's this discussion also brought up what are dirty moves, and there's this choke which was known as the grape choke. But people are now trying to call it the Homer Simpson choke to make it a little bit cleaner and sound a little bit less demonic.
Yeah.
This is considered dirty. I think it's perfectly legit if you're allowing somebody to have hands free to do this choke. Mm-hmm. It's legal. It's legit. This used to be one of my, and it still is, in the guard. if I'm in somebody's full guard, close guard, I will. They call this the yoke of your hand. I'll put this on the neck to try to get them to maybe throw up an arm bar so that I can get out of the guard. I like that.
Yeah.
That move.
And this was a tactic I used when I was a blue belt at 10th Planet. This is when I first started really tapping higher level guys. If I could get to knee on belly and put the hand on their neck like that, it's so embarrassing that what I notice is a lot of guys will give up their arms. So I use it as a setup. You know, you put your hand down on their neck. It sucks. It's embarrassing. And guys would make pretty wild mistakes.
So it's good.
But trying to finish with it is wild. It's crazy.
I love it. I love those crazy finishing moves because I think sometimes, and you find this especially when you roll with somebody that's from a different martial art or they're just athletic and they can do things that are not considered jujitsu, and you're like, hey, you're not supposed to do that, but it's working on you.
Yeah.
But because it's not part of the jujitsu ecosystem, I think sometimes we get fooled into thinking this is all of grappling. And sometimes guys will do things that you're not expecting just because it's not done at your gym. It doesn't mean it doesn't work, or it doesn't mean it's not real.
For example, a can opener. If you're
Yes.
in close guard and just grab the guy's neck and yank him.
That scarfold choke, that, what do you call it? The shark machine that I'm talking about.
Yeah, sharp machine's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a real one.
These
that
are
you
catch
don't
wrestling ideas.
Yeah, these are catch wrestling. You don't see it a lot in jiu-jitsu, but as I said, I think in jiu-jitsu or in any martial art, you get kind of tunnel vision and think that this is fighting. I know fighting because I know this, but there's things that you don't know or you don't expect because it's not practiced in your gym.
Yeah.
Last thing is Carrie Morgan says, what are both your favorite sub, sweep, pass, and guard?
Yeah, that's too many questions. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Tahric, feel free.
Carrie, let's see. I like
Brother.
the guillotine. The no-arm guillotine is probably my favorite sub. I also like arm triangles. What else do I like? I think those are my two favorite. Rear naked choke is the ultimate favorite. It's the most satisfying, but it's not as easy to get as a guillotine, because with the guillotine, I guess you don't need as much setup for a guillotine. And let's see, what else do we got? Favorite sub, sweep, scissor sweep. Scissor sweep from full guard would be my favorite sweep. It's not easy to get on high level guys, but it is the most satisfying. Pass. Toriando, or I just kind of like to step around. Pass, backstep pass. I like those. And my favorite guard is half guard. Even though I can always use more work on my half guard would be my favorite guard. It's the most comfortable guard. I think full guard is probably the most effective guard, but I have a hard time holding people in full guard. So half guard would be my thing. I think that's it for questions. Thank you, Carrie. Chain Smoker Yo. Limbo You. Oh, Chain Smoker. Lynn, what's up? Wait. Limbo You? I don't know what you're saying, Chain Smoker Yo. Oh, Chain Smoker. I know who that is. I know who Chain Smoker is. Chain Smoker is... Are you on Team Limbo U? All right, we're gonna warm up. Chain Smoker U is Will. Oh, he's making fun of the way he says his name. All right, Will. Let's see. This is the boring part of the show where Marsha goes to the bathroom and I kill time before we slowly start rolling from no warm-up. Here we go. Oh.
We done or just starting? Starting. They show you
drill something.
We're at a drill position that I just learned last night called Ushiro X. Ushiro is the Japanese word for behind. So we've been doing a lot of X, a lot of reverse X, and now we're going to do Ushiro X, like this. So we've got this on that, huh? Stay up. Single leg X. X. Reverse X. Ushiro X. Check it. This is my first time to try. Single leg X. X. Reverse X. Wu-Tang. Backside 50-50. Heel hook. Crazy. Here. What about your reverse X? Got it?
I got the reverse X.
Yeah. Show everybody. Tahric's been working the reverse X to honey hole. Let's see if he can do it. What do you think?
Honey hole. No, it's the world is your the 20 minutes.
Yeah. Same.
X. Reverse X. Kick up the butt. Kick this leg up.
Yeah.
Cross the legs. So here, I got one leg over here. So I can heel hook. No. You go like this. Heel hook this.
He's gotten so good. Maybe Ushiro would be straight Tony Montana.
Straight Tony Montana.
Yeah. So you do just the same. And then like Wu-Tang grip my ankle over your head. The other side. Yeah. And then do this sort of up the butt, really straight. Yeah. So that's even straighter. There you go.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah, Wu-Tang grip.
Okay. put the leg straight behind it or something like that.
Yeah. Same idea though.
Maybe try that Wu-Tang grip live. That switch.
I think so. I just watched this last night.
Okay.
I tried it on my girl, but she was sleeping. I think it works if, like, you're here. Yeah, that was easy.
It's just, yeah, it's
Yeah. So what I was saying, like here. Yeah. There's so many things to do. Playing new ideas. If you play with Ushiro X, send me a link. Which I'd be practicing. All I saw was Brian Glick talking about it. Gordon Ryan talking about passing it. What do you guys think? Carrie, what you got, bro? We all done? Okay, we're all done. Taipei BJJ, Marshall Stamper, Tahric Finn. Thank you.